Every jiu-jitsu couple we know is either making these mistakes or they have at some point.
And almost none of them realize how these patterns can quietly affect trust, intimacy, and connection off the mat.
Today we're walking through the 7 mistakes jiu-jitsu couples make that hurt their relationship.
And watch all the way to the end so you can see which one of these you're making without even realizing it.
We're Amanda and Hernando Thola. We've been married almost 10 years and we're both jiu-jitsu black belts. We trained together before we ever even met.
And we coached couples just like you. We've also fought through these same patterns, and we're gonna show you what it takes to fight through it and not quitting on jiu-jitsu.
We're going to hit each mistake briefly in the video, but we go deeper into it in our ebook.
And you're gonna wanna understand these quickly so you'll save yourself some heartache. Mistake number 1, training without boundaries. It's very important to know when we're training and when we're not training. It's very easy to take jiu-jitsu home and take it too seriously, and it doesn't become fun. It puts a strain on your relationship and in your training as well.
I know in our marriage, it's really important that we set aside date night time that's not jiu-jitsu time. He wants to feel like a man, I want to feel like a woman, and on the mats is not exactly where that can always happen, right? Especially as a female, I'm being a lot more aggressive, you know, and I want to feel like a woman, I want to feel protected, and sometimes the mats are not the best place for that. So if you are already starting to see that this could be helpful, find the link below in the comments to our free ebook where we go into a lot of depth on the 7 most common mistakes couples make when training.
Mistake number 2, coaching when they didn't ask for it, right? I'm guilty of that, is giving corrections. They didn't ask for it. My wife didn't ask for those little tips. My job there is just to be very encouraging, making sure that the move is functional, not the little details, the C-clamp, the monkey grip, just making sure that the move works. The trap and roll, did the move work? Great, awesome. Obviously she's a black belt, so she's gonna nail it every time, but does it really matter if the grips are off a little bit? No. Let's get those reps in, and then as time goes on, we'll refine that sword.
Yeah, and I think the thing is too, I mean, when you're talking about correction in a relationship, it's no longer just about technique. It's being filtered through your lens of your entire relationship, right? So maybe something happened in the past, or you're feeling overly emotional, or you're sensitive about a certain thing, or the way he said it. It's not a correction that comes from a normal teammate saying, hey, if you just do this, it's gonna fix the problem. It is a correction that's coming from the person who you're the most vulnerable with, who's seen you at your deepest, rawest moments. So it can hurt the most sometimes.
Mistake number 3, bringing stress on the mat or at home. So before we met, I was single, I would work a long shift, and I would go leave all my stress on the mat. And then when we got together, I had to switch my mindset, because now we're training together and I can't take out my stress on her. She cannot be a punching bag, right? So being able to come in and still enjoy myself and each other and let that stress out without beating each other up, right? Taking all my aggression out of her. One, I don't want to hurt her, but you know how that can go south pretty quick when roles get very intense.
Yeah, I think also not bringing home stress onto the mat, especially when it comes to like your relationship. So for example, we've been training a long time. There are still days that we choose not to train because we are not in an emotionally safe place to train. There is frustration, there's tension in the relationship, maybe there's conversations that didn't get finished that we need to discuss. Whatever it is, maybe it's my time of the month, whatever it is, it's not a wise time to train, not because we don't have self-control, not because we're not capable, but because we're using wisdom to restrain ourselves to make sure that we don't add fuel to the fire.
Mistake number 4, letting rank replace respect. So I'm a 2nd degree black belt and she's a black belt, and I can easily say, bow to your sensei.
No, I'm sure.
It's not gonna go well. If anything, she's the black belt at home and I'm the white belt at home. So rank doesn't mean anything, guys. So for us, knowing that really quick, it kills the ego.
Yeah, and I think this is important whether the wife is a higher rank or the guy is a higher rank, understanding that rank does not replace respect, right? We're gonna give value to the other person, their thoughts, their inputs, regardless. It's collaboration. And if we're talking about like even being on the mats, yes, the higher rank probably has a better understanding of the techniques, but we still want to collaborate. Just because we might outrank our partner doesn't mean we want to come off critical or harsh. We want to be collaborative. We want to encourage. We don't want to dismantle their trust in us or their trust in sharing their ideas and their thoughts with us. And then especially when we talk about moving that home, we really want to make sure that we are honoring our partner, whether it's a man, a woman, they're the high rank, either way, we want to make sure we're honoring our partner.
Mistake number 5, comparison on the mat. So this could go either way. If, for example, one person is moving up faster than I am, they're getting the techniques better than I am, and we trained at the same time and they're progressing quickly, she might feel the receiving end on that too, me complaining, me comparing, and it's not good. It's not healthy for the relationship.
Yeah, that's true. Also, it could be, I think this might be more from like a female perspective, could be a comparison if there's other couples that you're training with, like, oh, they're advancing faster than us, or, oh, he just really seems to take care of her, or, oh, she always listens to him when he gives her corrections, or whatever. It's easy to start comparing your relationship to other people's relationships. And this isn't just on the mat, it's off the mat too. And regardless if we're talking on or off the mat, the reality is there's always way more to the picture. And instead of focusing on somebody else's relationship, let's focus on our own relationship and say, like, okay, like, where could we fix something that seems broken?
Mistake number 6, this one's one that's not talked about, and it's going to be training with the opposite sex without clear expectations.
Yeah.
When we first started training, I said I don't roll with the opposite sex. And then there was this one time, this one lady was just sitting out. And let's just say this lady did not look like a lady. This was like
10 years ago, okay, guys?
This lady did not look like a lady, okay? She kind of looked like a guy. And I rolled with her, and it really pissed her off. And I was like, what? Typical guy, like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
I don't find this girl attractive. What's the problem here? So set clear expectations. Are you going to roll with the opposite sex? Are you not? You know?
Yeah. And I think the reality is some of it can have to do with insecurities. Some of it can have to do with wisdom, right? And every couple has to determine. We're not here to tell you what your definition or boundaries should be. We're simply saying have them discussed. Discuss clear expectations, clear boundaries. We're going to hit a little bit longer on this one because I think this is the most underserved mistake that we hear. There's really nobody talking about it, and there's so much tension on the mats because this is not discussed. So if you're not comfortable with your spouse or your partner training with the opposite sex, you need to tell them that. Right? You need to have a conversation. You need to open it up. Why are you not comfortable? Why are they not comfortable? Figure it out. The other thing is it might not be necessarily that you're like, oh, I don't want you training with anybody of the opposite sex. It might be that you're like, I'm okay with it, but there's this one guy that like, he's like, I don't like you training with. Or there's this one girl, I just don't feel you comfortable with you training with. Instead of being like, oh, I'm going to look weak or insecure. No. The reality is you're already feeling it, so stop trying to deny it, and then secretly you're resentful and you have tension, you're snappy because you're not communicating with your partner. Like, communicate with your partner. I've always said communication to a relationship is like oxygen to a fire. If there is no communication in a relationship, it is going to die out. Just like if there's no oxygen, you take a fire torch deep enough into the cave, it dies. So communicating is very, very important. We're now at a point in our marriage where, you know, if he works techniques and stuff with other women, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, do I honestly enjoy it? No, I don't. I'm just being super honest. I don't like it. But I'm okay with it, and because I trust him. I trust him. I know he's a good man. I know he doesn't have any bad intentions. Does he typically train with women? No, not usually, because there's a ton of guys to train with. So typically, and I know you've also talked about how he doesn't necessarily like me training with other guys either, but he also understands that it's like all guys to train with. So we kind of work together, we talk, but if at any point in time there is a guy he's not comfortable with me training with, or vice versa, we communicate, and that's it. Like, there are clear boundaries set, and I don't personally care if anybody tries to say, oh, that's insecure or that's controlling. Cool. We have an awesome marriage because we respect each other's boundaries. And first and foremost, our priority and our allegiance is to God and then one another.
I think because we have that communication, that's why we're still training.
Yeah.
We meet countless couples that they don't train, they both quit, or the husband's the only one training, or the spouse is the only one training, or the boyfriend or girlfriend, and it becomes a problem because there's jealousy that starts to build up.
Yeah.
We see it all the time, right? Where the guy might say, hey, I don't like it that you go to the jiu-jitsu school. And the reality is, like, something happened that they could have trained together. They could have resolved it. Mistake number 7 is investing more in jiu-jitsu than your relationship. So we're quick to want to get better at jiu-jitsu, invest in private lessons, fly to get a seminar going, right? And invest in private training and in ourselves, BJJ Fanatics, Gracie University, all these online platforms that we spend a lot of money, get new gis and all this stuff. And those things are great. But when we do that more than we do with our relationship, date night, maybe a marriage retreat, going to church together, a devotional, any of those things that could better your marriage, if we do jiu-jitsu more than that, you're going to see real quick from my personal experience. I was married before. My marriage died because I put jiu-jitsu as the idol, as the first thing, and then everything underneath, and it comes crumbling down. So take my word for it. You'll save a lot of heartache if you put your marriage on top first and then jiu-jitsu second. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to evaluate where our time is being spent, because it's very easy to say, oh, my marriage is my top priority. Okay, well then let's pull out our calendar and see, like, where is our time actually being spent? Because we can say one thing, but if our actions are demonstrating something else, we're deceiving ourselves. So it's important that we are prioritizing our spouse, our relationship, and coming together and training jiu-jitsu together is awesome. That's great. That is a way we can prioritize our relationship, as long as we're not forsaking, date night and all the other things that he just mentioned. The other thing that is important for us that have had or currently do have small children, I think it's important to make sure that you both are working together to ensure that if you have small children, you're both getting equal training time, however that works, whether it's a babysitter, bringing the kiddo to the gym. I've seen before couples, remember, like way back in the day with like a baby, and they're like trading off the baby, like rolling rounds, whatever you have to do, making sure that your spouse doesn't feel alone. If any of these mistakes resonated with you, it doesn't mean you're doing life wrong. It simply means that you're willing to acknowledge that there are places that you can grow. So we want to help you grow. If you click the link below, you're going to find our free ebook that is going to go into even more depth on the 7 most common mistakes jiu-jitsu couples face and how to overcome them. We're going to give you tangible application that you can implement right away to start improving your marriage.
You guys, boyfriends, husbands, if you want to know how I roll with a woman, my wife, that is smaller than me and I'm much larger and stronger, it's very important that you click the link, the video, to see exactly the tips and tricks that we use to communicate and how we roll with each other, so it's both a win-win situation for both of us.
This video helped you. Please like, comment, share, and don't forget to get that ebook.